When many think of the police, usually the first images that come to mind are officers responding to crime scenes and arresting suspects. Certainly, that is a large part of what we do. Enforcement of our laws is vital to public safety. But sometimes we need to take on different roles to protect life and property. Taking on different roles is exactly what we needed from our officers when two catastrophic wildfires ripped through Spokane County. Spokane police officers quickly partnered with the Spokane County Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement and fire organizations, swiftly initiating methodical evacuations of areas threatened by the rapidly spreading fire and posting at different roads to assist with traffic management and control. Throughout the next several days and nights, more than 100 SPD officers worked the Gray fire scene, while almost a dozen were assigned to the Oregon Road fire. Officers immediately began evacuating people who were in danger of being overtaken by this deadly fire. One of the many examples we received from a homeowner who called SPD to express his gratitude. The homeowner was asleep in his residence and awoke to loud knocking from an officer. The homeowner had previously been unaware of the fire and was quickly able to take protective measures to secure his property and keep himself safe. That individual credited the officers with saving his property and likely his life. In addition to helping with evacuations, officers assisted in the critical task of managing traffic in the area. Controlling a wildfire is only possible if the appropriate fire equipment has access to the scene, which will become impossible if traffic congestion isn't quickly managed. Officers also extinguished spot fires started by floating embers when they were able to. Sadly, law enforcement did have to engage in some of our more traditional roles. When areas are forced to evacuate under these circumstances, there is always a concern opportunistic criminals will prey on the vulnerability afforded by homes which have been left vacant. SPD, along with other law enforcement entities, dedicated resources 24/7 to patrolling the areas where community members were displaced, and in doing so, arrested a couple for burglary and associated charges after they dressed themselves to resemble firefighters to facilitate their burglaries. While we can't ignore stories like this, which exemplify some of the worst conduct in our community, overwhelmingly what we saw in response to these fires was a sense of resilience, community, and caring. These are the attributes that will allow us to rebuild and support those who lost everything. I am very proud of the efforts by our men and women and was pleased when the Spokane City Council recognized the efforts of Spokane police officers through a salutation at the latest council meeting. We mourn the loss of life and feel for those who lost so much as a result of these fires. And we appreciate the efforts of our officers and firefighters who all quickly and without hesitation responded to avoid further devastation.